Sell me this pen.
Hi everyone. I think you all remember this famous phrase from this movie. It kind of shows that sales and negotiation skills are very important and could be the key factor of success. But the world has changed. And today we have AI technologies, new tools. And the question is, could they solve a key sales challenges or not? I don't know. Today I will discuss this topic with a very interesting guest. His name is Gerald Hoff. He is a founder of Sales Automation Labs. He is an expert in customer acquisition and sales automation with over 20 years of experience in B2b sales. His main strength is his ability to secure meetings with the senior executives in companies with over 1 billion in capital. Gerald precisely combines a deep research approach to customer insight with new technologies. Let's go and find out more. Hi Gerald, nice to meet you. Thank you for your time. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
How did you end up in Berlin? Tell your story.
My story.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a B2B sales guy since I started my career when I was 19 because I had my own company. It was a B2C company in the finance industry, and I had to sell from scratch. From day one. I did that for 15 years, and then I switched to the B2B sales. Today I live with my. I have my company here in Berlin for 5 years. The company is Sales Automation Labs, so we are doing sales automation stuff.
Why did you choose Berlin?
Because it's definitely the most vibrant city in Berlin. It was, when I arrived here, it was one of the cities where the innovative startups were founded. So you can live here with together with it's a very international city. So there are a lot of influences.
So you did choose Berlin. It was not accidentally that you are here.
No, I chose it in the first place because I studied here. So here was a university, and I wanted to study in a bigger city, and that was the event, or the trigger event why I landed here. But then the rest is.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from the north of Germany, close to the Baltic Sea, a small city called Güstrow, so close to Rostock. So there I started. So there I was born and raised, and.
Do you think that Berlin is the right city to start your business or your startup? And do you think that Berlin is the right city to succeed?
It depends. Let's say. So. On the one hand, it's a very international city. You can get connections to a lot of different stakeholders that are relevant for a business, be it clients, be it investors, be it connections to the political scene, let's say. But on the other hand, it's also full of bureaucracy. It's difficult to find living space here for your employees. We have a lot of bureaucracy, so it takes up to 3 months or sometimes longer to establish a company, which is strange because I know it, for example, from Estonia, so it takes 2 hours.
It's easier.
And it's much easier. But on the other hand, we have very stable political conditions that you can kind of rely on, which is also not so bad, as you know way better how difficult it is to live under completely uncertain circumstances. That is different here, definitely. But on the other hand, there's a lot of difficult situations also in terms of the mindset of the people, in terms of innovation, when it comes to innovation. But definitely a chance to succeed.
Okay. This is a good news for us, for people who move to Berlin from different countries and who start from the scratch their ways. So it's because I'm asking people about how do they find Berlin. And today we will speak about sales, and maybe you just can tell some words. How did you choose this field? Why did you start to work with sales?
So interesting question, because the how to succeed in B2B sales and how a process can be designed and how you can reach out from scratch on cold outreach channels, it always lies in front of me like an open book. Yeah. So sure, I had to learn a lot of stuff, but I didn't feel like it is my duty to learn it. I always felt like, oh, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun learning it. It's fun understanding what works, what doesn't. And I'm very excited by bringing innovation to people and making processes, things, situation, whatever better. Yeah, understanding the business case and understanding the journey, how to bring a client from A to B. With a very, I think that is one of my most crucial, let's say, secrets, which is my mindset is 100% client focused. Yeah, I always think processes from the client's perspective. Yeah. And maybe that helps me a little bit better sometimes to say, no, that will not be it.
Some people don't like sales. Some people tell that, oh, it's not so easy for me. But for me, I really love sales too. Because of that, I make this interview with a big pleasure. Because for me, sales is not a job. It's not a work. For me, it's a method or reason to communicate with people, to understand their needs, their thoughts. So I really love this topic, and we will start to speak about sales. And let's find out how to make.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Tell about your company, social
Sales
automation.
Sales
Automation Labs.
Yeah.
And what is this company? What do you do for your clients? Tell about your business.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. So Sales Automation Labs is what is in the company name. So we are automating sales, B2b sales processes. So because I have a saying, it makes sense to automate as much as possible, yeah, but only as much as necessary. Yeah. So what is sales automation in general? You can use technology to cover repetitive manual tasks. Yeah, and that helps the sales people, B2B sales people, to focus more on the clients in terms of, or compared to focusing on searching stuff, writing emails, writing proposals, reading stuff, etc. Because once prepared and set up, you can use the technology for it. And what we are doing is a mixture of coaching and consulting for, let's say medium-sized companies, but also startups and corporates. We all already worked for a lot of companies, the biggest companies in Germany, and help B2B sales teams to close more of the very relevant deals.
And do you help automate this process to attract the leads, relevant leads, or it's only consulting thing and develop?
So we work along the whole funnel, from, let's say, you can call it marketing, from attracting and creating awareness in the top of the funnel, to the lead qualification, lead generation, lead qualification, and figuring out, is there a deal, is there an opportunity in a deal, in a lead? So you talk to client and figure out, okay, is there a budget? Is there an opportunity? Is it the right timing? Do you have a solution with your product that helps to solve the client's problem or challenge? So there's the qualification part. And once we set up a first meeting, a qualified first meeting, we call it, then I hand over more to my business partner, to my co-founder, which is Michael. Michael works more in the bottom of the funnel, meaning from very perfectly prepared first meeting, to let's say lead qualification, opportunity qualification, covering the buying center, figuring out the stakeholders and their needs, to proposal, negotiation, decision, and implementing. This is more his part, doing a consulting. And at the end of the day, what we do is, look, if you have an organization that on average has a closing rate from first meeting to closed or won or closed lost of, let's say, 25%, then we can definitely help sales teams, B2B sales teams with complex deals, to bring them from 25 to 35, 40, sometimes even 50% close rate. And that has a significant advantage, which is you can make more revenue with the same amount of people, salespeople in your organization. So you don't have to increase your costs, but have much more outcome. And this is always the business case that we tackle, that we target. Yeah. And in most of the cases, we already succeed with it.
Yeah, super. And, I noticed that in German interview and podcast, there are always a lot of statistics. So I decided to use some statistic also. And you sent me this interesting file. It's something like a report from Demand Gen company about B2B buyers' behavior. And here are some interesting facts from this statistic, okay? And then we could discuss it. So economic uncertainty and technological changes are forcing B2B buyers to do more research and pay more attention to justifying investments. And for 34% of respondents, purchases were delayed due to budget freezes, and 26% were doing more in-depth research involving more people in the decision-making process. So my question is, how would you comment on B2B sales today? And what has changed in your personal work over the last period? What do you observe when interacting with your clients?
Okay. A lot of questions in one, let's say. So what has changed?
Yes.
And the Demand Gen report shows that very clearly. And we observe the Demand Gen report over a longer period, is a very clear thing. And this is the age and the digital usage of buyers increases significantly. That means that we come from let's say 30, 40 years ago, we had a so-called seller's push sales. Means seller move to the client, hand over an information to the client, and force to make him a decision of buying or not. But this completely changed because with the rise of the internet and in the information age, now buyers have the chance to gather information on their own.
First, they get information,
Exactly.
and then they make decision.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, you want to solve a problem, and it typically you start researching it on Google, maybe today on ChatGPT Web or on Perplexity or whatever. How to come to closer? What are potential chances to solve a certain problem? Yeah. And after that, they decide to get in touch with a salesperson, maybe, but only in the end of the funnel, only to get the last, let's say, 10 to 20% of the sales and information gathering process. And that is the thing that changed significantly. And that led the salespeople to a customer pull instead of a seller push.
I understand. So before, because my interview, I make this discussion between sales and negotiation skills and new technologies. So I want to find out what is the most important today in the B2B sales area. So new technologies are most important, or negotiation and sales skills are most important. So in your answer, I see that first we have to work with the information that we give to our potential clients. We have to work with the newsletter, social media to prepare our potential clients to make decision.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to figure out very customer-centric, as I mentioned, what are the channels that your potential client is using? Yeah, which type of information is he or she consuming? Yeah, and you have to be active on these channels. And it's more and more sellers' task or responsibility to be aware, to be active on these channels. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Not marketing anymore. Yeah. So we are not in the silo in the silo world anymore, where you have the marketing department and the sales department, and the sales department is shouting on the marketing that say, oh, they are spending so big budgets, yeah, on creating useless leads, and the marketing, oh, sales is only too stupid to close our valuable leads.
This conflict is like always.
Yeah.
I remember from my previous job in Ukraine.
So absolutely. So the buyer has definitely the challenge to see a lot of let's say suppliers for different solutions, and they have the choice. But on the other hand, having too much choice, also causes work to figure out what is right and what is wrong. And that's why the seller position can be much more crucial in the future to help the buyer guiding through these lots of suppliers. Yeah, and that is a huge chance. But to do that, you have to be aware on these digital channels to be part of the innovation gathering process. Yeah, the time of opening an address book and calling someone because I know him, these times are over.
Doesn't work.
Exactly. Yeah. Why? Because we sell more and more, and that is part of the demand gen report. More than close to 70% of buyers today, B2B decision makers for buying processes, grew up with internet. And that is the significant change. Yeah. So for them, it's normal. It's so there was never another world. They started their life with, okay, if I have a problem, I try to solve it by finding a solution in the internet. Yeah. And why not doing it at work? Yeah. And that's why they are using these channels, and that's why, and it becomes more and more, and that's why you have to be active there.
I absolutely agree with your words, but we are in Germany. And when I communicate with the people who sell, who have B2B products, I ask, do you use social media? Okay, everybody uses LinkedIn, this is obvious. But not much people use other channels. And people in Germany, they are like, oh, it's my private data. I don't have to use Facebook or Instagram or something like that. But according to your words, it means people have to be more open. What do you think?
Yeah, so absolutely. So in Germany, B2B buyers are, let's say, very careful. Yeah, so there's a lot about privacy, data protection. Yeah, so like companies like Facebook, Meta, yeah, Google, they are the big guys who steal data.
Most worst thing is TikTok.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so they steal my data to offer something that I buy. Exactly, agree. I agree that mindset has to change here, especially when also attracting young talents. Yeah, so you can't expect to be to find good. So the most valuable, let's say, employees of the future when you're not active on their channels. Yeah, and speaking their language, and yeah, there has to happen a lot. Yeah. But it also has to happen under fair circumstances in terms of data protection and privacy. Yeah, because what is also not okay is that you can get most of these data from, let's say, personal data and misuse the personal data to sell your stuff. Yeah, that's also not okay. Yeah, there has to be limitations. There have to be limitations. Yeah, there have to be regulation. Regulation is typically much slower than technology. Yeah, and that's why we have to definitely make our homework in Germany on that. But yeah, agree. Depending on the industry, fully agree that we are too much on let's say traditional channels and too less on, for example, social media and other digital channels. Yeah, definitely.
In your opinion, how has B2B sales changed recently due to AI technologies?
Yeah, so expecting the question. So we in the beginning when AI came to the market, and was usable by ChatGPT for everyone, so we experimented a lot, and to be honest, most of the people were disappointed because the outcome was not good enough, but it definitely became much better, way better, especially when we talk about copywriting. It helps a lot to speed up things,
to make offer.
Exactly. But I have to say, so we also counted what we do typically and where can we use AI technology, and I can definitely say that we decreased our amount of work or amount of manual work, definitely in terms of copywriting. Yeah, definitely in terms of bringing order into, for example, lead lists. Yeah, that's definitely helpful. But one of the most crucial changes by AI in our let's say tool set is to be able to better and better figure out buying signals. Yeah, so because you can use, so AI is able to use on a huge amount of data in a very short time, and that's why I can hand over trigger events that are relevant for a sale very, very good. Yeah, because, and that is what is so important when you look at the reasons why a sale will be done. The factor. So look, budget. Imagine you have a client that has the budget and wants to spend the budget. There is a need, which is a problem solution fit. Yeah, and you talk to the right authorities, and let's say in an ideal world, they all of them agree that they want to have a solution. Yeah, but the last element is timing. What about you don't have the right timing? So you have a right solution, you have the right people, but they don't need it now because they are in an existing contract and can't cancel it now, or they don't have the budget yet, but next year, whatever. Yeah. So the most crucial thing is, example, fire extinguisher. Yeah. So imagine you sell fire extinguishers. Yeah, no one wants to have it, and no one wants to spend budget on it. But
what is it? What?
Yeah. So if you have fire and you want to kill it. Yeah. So, but when the fire comes up, then you are happy to have it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and that is the right timing. So you can sell it for every price. Yeah. Because when the demand and the timing come together, that is the most crucial point where sales can be done. Yeah. And AI helps us to search, let's say, traps or search indications in the internet and make it visible for salespeople. When is the right time to contact a prospect?
When buyers are ready to buy.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay,
exactly.
I understand.
Yeah.
And how do you think could AI technology solve key sales challenges in the future, for example?
Yes. Yeah, because some processes, I'm very convinced that some sales processes can be definitely completely taken over by AI. You don't need any human for it. Yeah. So the so-called low-touch customer interactions. I think for the middle touch and the high-touch customer experience, I think there always have to be salespeople involved. But imagine, so again, when you look at the workflow and the work that salespeople do every day, then you see almost 70% of what they do is not client-related work. They are searching for information, they are creating proposals, they are negotiating with internal stuff, yeah? So that's not client-facing, yeah? And they should have more taken over of that administrative stuff by AI and to be able to focus more on interacting with clients, yeah? Because that is what the value of a human is at the end, on the last part of this negotiation or let's say sales cycle, yeah, to take over what AI cannot do yet, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what AI cannot do yet? So this is the last point of negotiations. So what we need, what we could do, and AI doesn't do. So what is it exactly? So this is a human factor. What kind of human factor we need in this process? It's interesting. So do we need this negotiation and sales skills, or maybe not anymore? Or I don't know. What is your opinion?
Yeah, my opinion is that what is very often missing in the AI-generated results, let's say, be it pictures, be it videos, is this authentic touch, this authentic human touch. Yeah. So sometimes it's, for example, a personal story, but this personal story catches your interest because I only tell you the personal story that I think that could be relevant for you and touch your heart. Yeah. But not the other story. Yeah. And this is, I think, this last mile.
Yeah, I have one question. I was I participated one event about also B2B sales on something like that, and I had a question. Sales is an art, or sales is a statistic, numbers, technologies? What do you think?
I don't know how the English word for it is, but I think it's a Handwerk. Yeah, so something what a craftsman does every day. Yeah, so you have your tools ready. You have to have your tools ready. You have your knowledge how to use the tools. Yeah, and you work on something, and this is a client relationship. But at the end of the day, it's a human-to-human relationship. But
emotional fact. So could be emotional fact in sales process, because when I participate events, people tell a lot about numbers, about statistics, and so on. But I know exactly there is an emotional thing, and sometimes people buy because they were inspired, because they just wanted to buy. It could be so.
Yeah, don't mix up too much B2B and B2C sales. There's a huge difference because B2C mostly there is one decision maker. Yeah, in B2B process you have minimum 7 decision makers, 7 people involved in a decision. Yeah, so that's what I call a buying center: decision maker, approver, checker, endorser, and so on and so forth. So no company today in today's times works like a kingdom where one person decides and the rest is doing. Yeah, so there's a decision-making committee, and they have pros and cons, and so that's why. But the big, let's say, ability or the big skill of salespeople in complex B2B sales deals is definitely to orchestrate the buying center and to understand maybe the political, the career backgrounds. Yeah. So the reasons why could a decision be made by him or her, or him or her not? Yeah. When is the right timing? Whom do I have to talk to? Who in the organization has to talk to each other? Yeah. And that is to orchestrate this buying center, these 7, 10, 12, whatever people, yeah, with their needs and also their objections against the deal. That is definitely the crucial point where where you need a skill of being able to use empathy, to have negotiation skills, and don't care about any numbers, and that is where I agree with you. That is the human part.
I just want to evaluate how huge a human factor in a B2B sales.
Definitely huge.
Huge, yeah.
Definitely huge, because B2B sales processes are very long. Mostly, you have long sales cycles, sometimes years long. And whom do you trust? You trust someone who's there. And not a company, a brand where you see every 6 months a new representative. So that is one factor. The other factor is you ask yourself in your inner, let's say, would I buy something from this guy, from this person or not? And these are this trust element, needs authenticity, relevance, and if these things come together and you as a salesperson are able to orchestrate it, yes, you can definitely use trust and these characteristics as unique sales propositions. Definitely.
So if a human factor is a huge, it means, I think it's just my opinion, it means that we have to use it. And because of that, in B2B sales, so we can to build this trust before we sell, for example, through YouTube channel, through social media. How do you think?
Yes, absolutely. So by sending out the right informations and giving an idea of did I understand the topic, the problem situation, etc. Content, sending out content, especially video content, is definitely very helpful. Because on the one hand, there is a huge, also demand gen report, a huge amount of in B2B sales situations involved people who see content online, social media, YouTube, etc. definitely as a valid channel, to gather information. Imagine how such solutions are typically evaluated. So a decision maker maybe goes to an intern or to a working student or to a secretary or whatever, and gives the order, hey, research, let's say 5 potential suppliers for the certain job to be done. So, and what they do, they go into the internet. They use the channels that they are familiar with. And yes, sure, if you don't know a topic, it's obvious to go to YouTube and look at how-to video, for example.
Absolutely. That's why
and if you, at one thing, and if you are not there, your competition is there.
Absolutely.
And that is
absolutely. So it's because I try to convince my client to use YouTube channel for B2B sales. So many companies, I asked, what kind of channels do you use? I use LinkedIn to attract B2B sales. Why don't you use YouTube? And a lot of companies not understand the meaning of this new channel. Okay, I have an interesting question about real AI tools, new technologies. So I asked ChatGPT to write to me the most effective services that I used today in B2B sales. There are a lot of different services which work with documents, with the data analytics and so on. I choose just services for lead management and marketing automation. So I write out these kind of options for you, and you tell me maybe you have an experience with these services.
Yeah.
It's interesting. What do you use for automation sales? So HubSpot, an end-to-end marketing, sales, and customer service management solution that support automation of lead generation and campaign nurturing.
Yes, we use HubSpot. We are even HubSpot partners. Because it's definitely one of my most favorite tools, yeah, because it definitely helps a lot my clients as well as me to be able to organize the sales process, very client facing, yeah, very client oriented, and yeah, definitely one of my
Yeah, how
favorites.
much does it cost?
It depends on which, let's say, features you want to use it. Do you want to use it for marketing purposes, for sales purposes, or for content management and managing your website stuff? So, but what you can say in general is, if we only look at B2B sales, yeah, then we can say, okay, a subscription for a year for a 5-people sales team is roughly 5,000 euros a year. Yeah, but it's definitely worth it because you can definitely, the business case is too obvious. Yeah,
Okay.
depending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the next service is Marketo, a marketing automation platform that helps automate lead generation, segmentation, and consistent customer interactions.
Yeah. So no, we don't use it, but we very often find it with our clients, and it's definitely for marketing purposes, definitely a good tool. Yeah. I think there are better ones in the meantime, but Marketo is solid.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. And the next service is for sales funnel automation and CRM systems. Salesforce Einstein, an AI product built into the Salesforce platform, helps analyze customer data and create personalized recommendations. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I heard about it, and I got to know it when it was launched, or when it was, let's say, when they said, okay, we will launch it. Yeah, they showed a let's say trailer, or yeah, and to be honest, I didn't use it yet, so I can't go into detail, but I'm not a Salesforce fan, yeah, because why? Not because of a logo or whatever, personal things. One of my very first questions when working with B2B sales teams, when start working with them, the question is, does your CRM system help you to generate more revenue? And when they use Salesforce, the answer is always no, unfortunately. Yeah. So I know that a lot of companies work with it, and I also know why. Yeah. Other reasons, can talk about that in another session, but and I can only hope that Einstein maybe is more successful and helps B2B sales guys to close more. But I want to see it first, let's say.
Okay. And Piper Drive, a sales management CRM that offer tools to automate a sales funnel, track interaction, and forecasting. So
I love Pipedrive. Yeah, so Pipedrive is the cheaper and definitely very agile and developer open solution that is really useful for startups. Yeah, because it's a little bit cheaper. It's very agile. You can use it there. And it was definitely one of the very first software as a service cloud-based CRM system that I used in my career.
Oh, really?
I started working with it in 2014 as a beta user. And I will never forget the evenings when I talked to the CEO on the phone because the database disappeared.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but today a very solid tool. I love Pipedrive, and for smaller teams, definitely a very good choice.
Okay. Thank you for your feedback. It was really interesting. And the next question is, in general, what do you think determines success in B2B sales today? How should they be organized in a company? What is your opinion? Maybe 1, 2, 3.
Okay. It depends a bit. Do we talk about a traditional market, traditional product, which is existing and everyone knows all the metrics? Or do we talk about an innovation? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of company which sells IT products, something like that. Maybe for this company it will be interesting to know.
So I guess the very first point is again customer facing and really customer facing, not only thinking about it, but very often I meet companies, for example, that have a significant mistake. They have a technology. Let's say you have developers or engineers in the company that develop a product, and they fell in love with this product.
Could be.
So, and from that day on, they think, okay, I don't need sales because the product is so great. Yeah.
Yeah, some people think that product is enough.
Yeah.
But business is a sales, not a product.
Yeah, which is not the case when you're not Google. Yeah, so ChatGPT. So, and that's why very often I see in these organizations, okay, the sales should have more relevance, should get more importance in the mindset of the founders, let's say. So on the other hand, you have traditional companies, and traditional companies sometimes have too much focus on sales, should have more focus on customer facing. Yeah, so improve the product, improve the service. Yeah, to be able to sell more and to compete against, or to be able to compete against the competition. Yeah, so that's why B2B sales. So first priority number one is client orientation, and do everything on a constantly basis over and over again to understand and get feedback from your clients, real feedback. Ideally, not only feedback that you can generate on your own when working for the brand, but also get it from external. Yeah, for example, what do we typically do? Are friendly customer interviews on behalf of our clients. So potential clients of our client can talk to someone who doesn't want to sell something, yeah, but can interview them and figure out what are the needs, what are the challenges, the reasons to buy with the competition, and so on and so forth. That is number one. And everything else, what needs to be done, the type of salespeople you need, the sales tool stack, the channels that you use, yeah, be it videos, be it papers, be it newsletter, be it community building, be it webinars, whatever, depends on the deep understanding of the client. Yeah, and that should be always number one.
Mm-hmm. And what about technologies? Is it necessary to use it?
Yeah, sure, but technology is not number one. Client is number one. Yeah, and maybe let me give you please an example. So for one day, I did a consulting 2 years ago. I did a consulting with a real estate property company in Austria. Imagine, let's guess. What was the most successful lead generation channel of the real estate company, the real estate broker?
What?
It was flyers in the newspaper.
Oh, really?
Imagine 40% conversion rate from receiving a flyer to people call the broker to get an evaluation of their house, to be able to have a price, to be able to make a decision to sell or not. 40%. Imagine, he shared 100 of these papers and he received 40 inbound calls.
Flyers, it's something ancient.
Imagine, yeah. That's why I mean the client defines the technology, yeah. And if you have clients that are typically available on Facebook, yeah, typically available with videos on a good YouTube channel, yeah, or people that say, hey, yes, I really love a good webinar, yeah, with experts, thought leader, to understand what's new in the market, etc. Then please do it, yeah. Find your mix, yeah, and you can find it by testing it, yeah. And technology has always to be tested, yeah. You define your KPIs, what is a successful, what not. And then you start using technology. Definitely, yes, sure, you have to use technology. What I just mentioned, the example is let's say an exception, yeah, but it's real, yeah, and that's why the client focus and the client's availability defines the channel.
Okay. Okay, clients first. I got.
Exactly.
Okay, and now we will speak about marketing channel. So we started to speak about it a bit, and according to this report from Demand Gent for 2024, in this report, I found information that most of respondents use LinkedIn. So 45% of buyers use LinkedIn. In 2024, YouTube use about 30%, and Facebook and Instagram use 10% of B2b buyers, according to this record. And so what do you think about marketing channels? And tell, what do you think? So people have to be concentrated on only LinkedIn, or it's okay to use another channels?
Okay. So again, client focus means you have to be on these channels where your clients are. So, and definitely it is crucial for a brand. The bigger they are, the more crucial to be existing and, let's say, to be on every channel. You have to have a professional YouTube channel. It doesn't mean necessarily that you have to spend millions of budget on it. So in today's times, look at some very agile startups with how limited resources in terms of time and budget, they are able to create great content. So, and you can also create viral content for your brand with a little bit creativity and test and learn and So you definitely have to have a good YouTube channel. You definitely have to have a professional profile on Instagram, TikTok, Meta, Facebook. When your audience is there, be it candidates for for being your potential employees or being it clients for the future, especially because in earlier discussion I mentioned that the most crucial factor for a B2B buyer to make the final decision to buy something is timing.
Absolutely.
But you can only decide for a brand to sell something when you know about them.
Absolutely.
And the best way to be, let's say, with certain topics, keywords, findable, visible, for certain topics, solutions, etc., values, is to be available on these channels.
And to be visible.
Absolutely, So we recognize that in our own business, So we have a consulting business, but a couple of the last few consulting jobs that we did have been done in a way that we ask our clients what lots of salespeople do. Hey, how did you get aware of Sales Automation Labs? And then very often the answer is, I follow you on LinkedIn since 2 years, and we recognize that we share the same values. And the way how you do sales and marketing and lead gen and sales automation goes hand in hand with our values. And that's why now is the right timing. We want to innovate our sales process because of X, Y, Z. And that's why we get in touch with you. But you can only get in touch with someone who has a good professional profile on all these channels. And that's why it's always there's not only one channel that is also important to understand, but it's also easy in today's times to use content, recycle content with a similar or the same saying and meaning, and use it for different channels and different times. So if in an ideal world, you can use good content creators are able to use the same content piece, but use it for 10 different channels and also for 10 different formats. And with AI, So you don't need a cutting team and a video production team and stuff.
There are so many tools today working with the content.
Absolutely.
And you know that I work with the social media, and I help my client to attract the new clients with the social media, and also B2b clients. And some statistic about social media in Germany. Do you know which social media is most popular here?
In B2B sale,
in general?
I would say it's still Facebook.
No.
No, it isn't. No. Okay.
It is YouTube. It is YouTube. YouTube has, it's a really real statistic. YouTube has about 70 million users in Germany. And the second place is Facebook. Facebook has about 50 million users in Germany. Their third place is Instagram, and LinkedIn is a fourth. And my opinion that other social media are also important, not only LinkedIn. And for me, it's also interesting. Is it possible to automate B2B sales process with the LinkedIn? Because I know how to automate it with the Facebook and Instagram. You can use this advertising, so something like that. But for me, LinkedIn is something like personal work. You have your profile, you have your followers, and you can communicate with them, with the people who you really know. But how to automate this process? Is it possible to make with LinkedIn? You know how?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can definitely automate parts of the outreach. You can, since years, we use bots to create first on a template basis, today on AI basis, so prompt generated individual connection requests. And yeah, you can switch on bots, and we definitely use it on a daily basis for us and also for our clients. You hand over the bot a template, and you can put in the tokens like name, company name, whatever. And then there will be sent out up to 100 connection requests per week. Yeah, the conversion rates from connection request to accepted connections depend a little bit on the target personas, but we say between 20 and 40%. Yeah, but to be honest, it doesn't have any meaning in terms of lead generation too much.
Yes, yeah? I mean that.
So having a connection, having a follower doesn't mean anything on LinkedIn. Yeah, there is no meaning because there is too much. Yeah, the pure mass of outreach.
And the second question is, for example, for me, when somebody try to offer me something and I don't know this person, I will never answer.
Yeah.
I answer only people which I really know. This is about, and I know there are a lot of services for LinkedIn which helps to connect a potential client and to send some information. But for me, it's like no meaning. I don't know, maybe it has some result, but for me, it's no meaning because I never use information from the people I don't know. Only when I meet someone, and then we can build our relationship more. It helps me.
Yeah.
And also, I don't offer something for people I don't know. I write only for people which I met on events or I know somehow.
Okay.
And for me, LinkedIn is about personal connection, not automation connection. And I know that for B2B companies, it's really important to build this lead generation process when you can get relevant leads from your potential client, and then to work with these leads, that just sales manager can work with these leads and so on. And yes, because of that, what kind of lead automation process do you see today? Which channels are really, really important in this process? What is your opinion?
Yeah, again, it depends a little bit on the type of product, the type of service that you sell.
Of course, there are some products we need to connect to senior executive for one company, it's absolutely another way. I understand that we cannot get automatically the leads of senior executives of one.
But also these senior executives you can definitely target and you can definitely talk to, but you have to do it in a way, in a trust building way, and you have to speak their language, and you have to be aware of the cycles, how long it takes. Yeah. So we are very successful when it comes to bigger deals. In terms of lead generation, bigger deals, we could talk about, let's say, 100,000 euros revenue plus. We have a very good experience with a combination of LinkedIn, email, and a call. Yeah. So we found a setup that in some cases, means with some clients of ours, makes sense. And this setup is, we try to understand deeply the client side, the problems, the challenges, the solution, the expected outcome, the value, the business case, the position of the competition, and so on and so forth. After that, we built a sequence, a cadence, quite detailed, and depends on emails, LinkedIn messages and connection requests and follow-up messages. And between touch point 2, 3, 4, we log a call. So because when we see someone is opening the emails, when we see someone is maybe clicking the one or the other link in the email, and we see an accepted connection request, that has a lead score for us that is high enough to say, okay, there seemed to be enough awareness, not interest, but awareness, that it's worth it to fire out a call, and then we have a calls, an AI and LLM generated call script in it that refers to the previous messages. And the previous messages, by the work we do in the beginning, is very focused on the needs of the client. So the client doesn't need to explain the problem. He doesn't need to ask for experience and expertise of the salesperson in the market, in the industry of the client, because that is stated. That is fixed. And that's why that is a setup that we are successful with. And successful means that depending on the industry, sometimes we have up to 20, in some industry even 40% conversion rate from cold contact to first meeting. And that is what we work with. And the other world is smaller deals, smaller decision-making rounds or buying centers. And that is where we were also very successful with social media advertising, because it's very easy to say, okay, what are the people that typically decide about XYZ product or service? Okay, it's let's say male people 50 plus interested in golf and living in the area of XYZ. And nothing is easier to target these type of people with some videos, for example, some reels, etc., and figuring out, is there an interaction or not? And leading them then to a lead magnet, for example, bringing them to, hey, here is a freebie, whatever, be it a checklist, be it a whatever information paper that shows that you have an experience and expertise in that field, and then take it from there. But this is what I definitely where I see the value of your agency for B2B business model companies, and that is, companies should have the understanding of they can easily bring 20% of their know-how that they typically hand over to the client, put into content and hand it over to potential clients for free. Yeah, that is definitely helpful. And the ones who have the challenge and who need the product will definitely be thankful for that content. Say, wow, cool, that changed my day. Wow, cool, interesting information or interesting perspective. Yeah, and that should then lead also to maybe a next touch point, a next step in the buying in the buying process. Yeah, and the channel, be it Instagram, be it Facebook, be it YouTube, whatever, depends again on the target audience. Yeah, figuring out what works, what doesn't, where do I have better conversion rate with which content.
Okay. So we are at the end of our interview. I think. Yeah, it's a really huge topic. I able to listen to this sales process ages maybe, because it's really interesting topic for me. I love sales. And of course, we have to deal with the new technologies. And as I understood at the end, that it's really important to be visible today, to create the useful content for your potential client, to use different marketing channels, to understand needs of your clients very well. What else?
Timing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, timing. So be there at the right time, yeah. But before the right time is up, yeah, you have to be there with your content, because otherwise the right timing will never come.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it was a wonderful interview. Thank you very much for your incredible insights, for this information, very useful information. I hope we could meet one more time, and maybe to open this topic more. So
maybe we can ask the users what they are interested in.
Yes. So yeah. Friends, if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like this video and to subscribe my channel between this. And I will make more interesting interview about how to make business in Germany. And thank you one more time.
I have to thank you. It was really my pleasure to get this interview, yeah, to get the chance to talk about these things and to reflect it. Yeah, thanks for your great preparation. It was definitely fun and definitely valuable for me as well. And yeah, thanks a lot, and happy selling.
Yeah, happy selling.